Audiokit developer Matthew Fecher had a dream. An iOS synth that captured the nostalgic feel of the golden age of video games. Thanks to a second collaboration with musician and producer Brian Funk, and a sprinkle of technical know-how from iOS developer Cem Olcay, Audiokit have realised that dream with Saga Synth. And let me tell you, it is glorious. Audiokit know a thing or two about creating really interesting iOS instruments. From the ridiculously playable and universally adored Synth 1 to last year's delightfully nostalgic trip into the world of 80s sound design VHS synth, it's clear that Audiokit like to do things a wee bit differently from other iOS developers. Just like VHS synth, Saga Synth sees Audiokit collaborate with Brian Funk, who this time around has brought in sounds from his excellent and previously Ableton Live only 16-bit preset pack. To create the pack, Funk sampled sounds from the sound chip found in the Sega Mega Drive, or Genesis if you're from North America. He then used a special MIDI interface to load up and sample individual instruments from some of his favourite games. Not only that, Matthew Fecher also added sounds from his Mega FM synth into the mix as well. This results in Saga Synth having a huge number of sounds to play with. The best bit though is that just like VHS synth before it, Saga Synth allows you to mix two of these sounds together at the same time. Couple that with Saga Synth's deep suite of effects and controls, and you have almost endless sound design possibilities. It's nuts. When you open Saga Synth, your first port of call will no doubt be the presets. Tapping on the black menu at the top will open the presets menu, and as always, these are a great way to get a feel for what this app can do. You have over 100 presets to get you started here that range from some very playable leads and pads, to wacky chiptune effects. You'll notice the wee Saga Synth mascot there speeds up and becomes more opaque the louder the sound is you're playing. A really nice touch. You'll have many more presets to play with than I have here, as I'm using a pre-release build of the app. When you're ready to dive in and do some tweaking, tapping one of these 4 buttons will take you to one of 4 tabs: Main, PCM, EFX, and the Sequencer tab. On the main tab, you'll find various, mostly self-explanatory controls, like volume and limiter knobs, as well as some effects along the bottom row here. 2 controls to look out for are Circuit Shock and Sonic Blast. Circuit Shock is a combination bit crusher and decimator, subtle enough to add some crunch at low levels, but will mangle audio when turned up. Sonic Blast is essentially a really gnarly distortion that again can be useful when used sparingly, but will really turn up the heat when cranked. The PCM tab is where you can mix and match your two different sounds. Tap the menu, pick a sound, and in a welcome change from one of the few downsides to VHS Synth, you can now audition sounds from the menu by playing the built-in keyboard, which is nice. You can control how much of each sound is outputted with the mix knob, and you have separate ADSR controls under each sound, though you can link these to one set of controls, which is really handy. The EFX tab is where you'll find Saga Synth's main effects. All of these effects are tempo synced either to your DAW when used as an AUV3 or to the tempo you set here in standalone mode. Chip phaser, chip flanger, and stereo delay are all fairly self-explanatory, and the harmonic filter allows you to really fine-tune and, in extreme cases, transform your selected sounds. And the sequencer tab is, funnily enough, where you'll find the sequencer. We haven't seen a sequencer in an Audiokit app for a while, and for this one, they've brought in veteran iOS developer Cem Olcay. Synth 1 has a really good, easy-to-use sequencer, and the one that Cem has created here really reminds me of that. There's an on-off toggle here. You can adjust the number of divisions, or the speed of it, here. There's a gate control, and you can change the number of steps in the sequence up to a maximum of 16. You can also choose whether the sequencer will be applied to both of your chosen sounds together, or just one, which is great. And there's a really handy lock sequence button here too. So if you create a sequence that you really like the sound of, but you want to hear how it sounds using a different preset, hit this, then change sounds, and the sequence will stay the same. Really clever and really useful. Audiokits have once again reached out to all manner of iOS musicians, creators, and YouTubers to come up with some presets for Saga Synth. Kavinsky's Tutorials, Electrona Sounds, MobiPixel, and Red Sky Lullaby, amongst others. I was incredibly excited to be included on that list, and I've had an absolute blast crafting everything from upbeat retro leads to frantic sequencers and weird, crunchy nonsense. The sounds on offer here are so great, and there are so many possible combinations and effects that it's really easy to just get completely lost in a big sound design hole. I love apps like that. You can use Saga Synth in standalone mode or hook it up to your DAW of choice as an AUV3 plugin. In GarageBand, that means navigating to the external section of the instrument selection screen and choosing audio unit extensions. Also, this is another app built on Audiokit's new, more stable AUV3 code, which can only be a good thing, and I certainly didn't run into any issues or glitches while testing. Audiokit have once again nailed that balance of accessibility and ease of use for iOS synth newcomers, while also giving advanced users the tools to really dig into that sound design process. As someone who experienced the era of gaming sounds that Saga Synth aims to emulate, yes, I am that old, unfortunately, this app feels a wee bit special to me. As retro synth apps go, you won't find anything better than this. Saga Synth is available right now on the iOS App Store for both iPad and iPhone. You'll find links to that down below the like button. Let me know your thoughts below. Will you be making all of your 16-bit dreams come true with Saga Synth? And if you're in the mood for even more retro synth loveliness, watch this video next.